The Ryan Ries Show from Southern California. This is The Ryan Ries Show. Post your questions using @Ryan Ries on his Instagram or Facebook. Are you ready?
All right, how you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in. I am actually in a hotel room right now in Chile, in Viña del Mar, down by the beach. We had some revival nights happening down here. They were amazing. And I have my friend Ere, which stands for R.
Exactly.
Because he's a pirate. R. Ere. Now, why do they call you Ere?
Well, okay, first of all, it's R. You're supposed to roll the R's.
Ere.
It's Spanish. R. Exactly, that's good. That was very good. Because of my name.
Yeah.
I'm Rodrigo Ramirez. I have a lot of R's in my name, so I just call myself R in Spanish, R, and people call me like that.
My name's Ryan Ries. How come they don't call me R?
Because it doesn't sound
It's
roll.
cool.
The roll. You had to roll the R.
You have to have the roll. Exactly. Just like manjar.
Exactly, manjar.
Yeah, that's the thing that we don't have in America because we don't have the R's.
You don't have
the
manjar. You don't have a lot of things we have in South America.
R.
Exactly.
Okay. So who are you to these people? We become friends, first of all.
Yeah. Like 3 years ago?
I want you to tell your testimony, but I want to tell you how, so people can understand who you are to me. We became friends when I came to Iquique up in the north of Chile.
Yeah.
When we were touring the schools, you were the translator.
Exactly.
The best translator in the world. Sorry, Hesser. Joe. No, actually, you're the best in South America. Hesser's the best in Mexico, okay? 2 different areas.
Right, it's different. 2 different regions. We should have like a trans off. I'm sorry,
a contest of the translators.
Yeah, translator off.
And you have to translate Donald Trump, and that's the way we can do it. Okay? No.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is easier to translate than most Americans. I would say.
I would say so.
He's very eloquent and articulated.
Yeah, right.
You can tell what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. So you have been a translator. That I've worked with for years, and now you've been translating me here down at the revival nights and at the conference, and you have an amazing story of God's grace of a story that growing up in the church, things went sideways. You walked away from God, got into a very dark, deep place, and then God got a hold of you. And I'll just give people that just to hold on to so they can listen to the story. Yeah. But this is going to be a journey of God's redemption in one's life that ended in a very dark, dark place. So if you're listening right now, watching on YouTube, listening on the radio, podcast, put on your seatbelt because we're going to go on a roller coaster ride right now, and just to see how powerful God is and how he reaches into the depth, into the darkness to pull people out and bring them into the light. Yeah. Supernaturally. Powerfully.
True.
So let's get into it, man. Like, where'd you grow up in Chile?
So I grew up in Arica. That's like 4 hours from Iquique, like right next to the border with Peru in the north.
Because Chile's long.
Chile's the longest country in the world. You could like if you put Chile on a map.
Yeah.
It's like driving from the south to the north. It's like driving from coast to coast in America.
It's that long.
It's that long.
Yeah. Yeah, because it takes about 5 hours to drive from the top to the north, like 5 hour flight
to Santiago. No, a lot less.
From the very bottom.
Yeah,
to the top.
Yeah. It takes like 5 hours.
Yeah,
or so.
That's long. That's like for LA to New York.
Yeah,
but it's thin.
Exactly. We don't have in Chile like the concept of west or east.
Yeah.
Like everything
it's just
is
north
coast.
Or south.
It's coast or not coast.
Right. Yeah, because you have the Andes Mountains here. So what's interesting about Chile? What's a little background in Chile? You got all these oceans all the way down, huge.
Yeah.
Long coast.
All the Pacific Ocean, the Andes Mountains.
Yep.
We're next to Argentina.
Yep.
Which we love, by the way.
Yeah.
We love them.
Yeah. Hey, Andes Mountains is amazing for snowboarding as well. So there's a lot of snowboarding stuff. The beaches are amazing.
Exactly. Chile is a very interesting country because you have all the places are like desert and you can snowboard. You go to the south and you can hike those. What you call a lot of green places, mountains. People come to different type of things. It's a really good place to shoot movies if you wanted to make like. They almost shoot Lord of the Rings here.
Really?
Because of all the different places.
Yeah.
They could do everything they needed.
Right.
But because if it was just more convenient to do in New Zealand, they did it there.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is because it's such a wide stretch of land.
Exactly.
All because you guys got penguins at the bottom.
Yeah.
You right down there, and then you go all the way to the desert to the north.
And we had like the driest desert on Earth.
So you have all of these different landscapes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Anyway, it is definitely a little gold gem you need to check out. It's just like, a lot of people don't know, but it's in Santiago, the city, very, very modern. Like literally, we were eating at that one like multi-layer outdoor restaurant and all it was so nice.
Yeah.
Just amazing. It's like you have the South American influence, you have the European, you have the American. It's just this.
It's a mixture of everything related to like Western culture.
You got the best of all in one spot.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Anyway, okay, well let's get your story. So you grew up at the very north.
Yeah, that's way north. It's difficult to get there. Even if you come from the outside, you have to take a plane to Santiago and then like get 2 hours on another plane to get there.
Yeah.
It's like nothing happens there. It's a small town, like a really, really small town. And this was like the early 90s.
Yeah.
So not a lot of things to...
Really, really small town back then.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of development that's been happening over the last 20 years.
True.
Yeah.
But back then, when I was a kid, like really small town.
Yeah.
But Calvary Chapel got there.
Okay.
So they had like Calvary Chapel in Iquique in the 90s, and Arica in the 90s, and all over the place there was a bunch of Calvary Chapels in Viña and Valparaiso.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Then, what happened is that I grew up in the family that went to that church,
yes.
Calvary Chapel. Back then, it was called Capilla Calvario.
Yes, it was.
Called in Spanish.
What are they called now?
Calvary Chapel in English.
Oh yeah, it was Capilla Calvario.
Yeah.
Is that a correct translation?
It's the exact word by word translation.
Okay.
Capilla Calvario, but it got rebranded kind of because it's more faithful to the movement if we call it Calvary Chapel, Mm-hmm. But back then you couldn't.
remember it.
But in the 90s you couldn't call it Calvary Chapel because nobody will understand what it.
They don't speak English as
Exactly.
much back then.
Exactly. English wasn't a thing here as much as it is now.
Totally.
So my family went there my dad was the worship leader. I had many siblings, so I had my mom and dad, two older brothers, one older sister, a younger brother, and that's when I grew up. We went to church. I will go to like Sunday school. Mm-hmm. So I learned all the classics from the Bible. Samson and Delilah, Adam and Eve, everything from the children's stories.
Yeah.
I will learn about God. I never believed other stuff than that at first. I didn't even believe in Santa Claus because I was like very young, and some kid mentioned Santa, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
It's a fake story about a guy who gives you a present. Oh, okay. So I never was even exposed to that.
Yeah.
And I remember like all the adults. Most of the adults in that church came out of drug addiction, alcoholism, broken families, and they got together in this small. Yeah, it was a small church, like 40 people, 50 people maybe, at best. And I grew up there with a lot of friends. One of them actually was at the conference.
Really?
Tall guy, you remember him?
Yeah, he was wearing a hoodie. Yeah.
Long hair, very tall.
But they're in the South now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were bragging about making manjar,
They brought you manjar.
Yeah, they did. They were talking about me going to the South and then making. Oh,
they know how to make
scratch.
it because they know how to make it.
That guy.
I don't know how to make it.
Yeah.
You had to learn so you can make it on your own.
I'm going.
And put
We're gonna start with the cows. They said you got to milk the cows, and then you got to.
Yeah, and you can do that on the States and get your own manjar business and. Who knows?
Who knows? So yeah, he was there. So he was one of your friends from up north.
Yeah. We grew up in that same church. His dad used to go there too, and then. Well, that church had more than one pastor over the years, and they will like step out because of a scandal or something like that.
Yeah.
And eventually, this pastor, the last pastor there in those years, in the late 90s, how can I say this gently? He was cheating on his wife with another woman from the church.
Yep.
And he left his wife.
Yep.
His wife moved out of town with his children, and he stayed living with this other woman. This other woman was the wife of the worship leader, who was my dad. So he was cheating on his wife.
With your mom.
With my mother.
Yeah.
And they hid it for many months over that year, 1999. Yeah,
99?
99. I was 9. I was born in 1990. So yeah, that's how I remember it. But then my parents got divorced. My older siblings stayed with my dad. Me and my younger brother stayed with my mom. We went to live with this guy. So it's...
And you stayed did your dad stay in that city and your mom stay in that city? Or
they
did
both
move?
stay in the city for a couple of years.
Okay.
And then we moved out to another town. But during those first couple of years, I was living in this pastor's house, and I slept where his children used to sleep, in their room. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Because of the divorce, back then we didn't have laws for divorce here in Chile. Because of the Catholic Church, they didn't allow it, and they had a lot of power in the 90s.
Yes.
But it took a while until you could legally get divorced.
Okay, got it.
So they didn't get divorced legally, but they were like separated.
Yeah.
My dad moved on after a while. My dad like remarried and with a woman with 2 children of their own.
Your dad
Remarried like a year later.
With that girl?
With another woman.
Another woman?
Yeah, no, with another woman who had kids.
Okay.
They're still together to this day, and those 2 kids are my stepbrothers.
Okay.
Their sons are my nephews. You see, they see me as an uncle. We grew up together. It's a very
tight family.
Yeah, it's not tight, but we're close enough. Like we grew up together. We're brothers. And God restored my dad's life. My dad's testimony is it's very what do you call it? Not shocking, but very impactful. My dad grew up in what do you call it? A minefield he was born in the 50s in the north in a salt mine.
Yeah.
And get this, my grandfather was an alcoholic, and my grandmother was with my dad when he was like very young, and he was one of those alcoholics that will get like jealous thoughts.
Yeah.
So he will drink a little bit and imagine his wife cheating on him.
Yeah.
So he will go home and be very violent with her. So my grandmother, to defend herself, had to sleep with a metal stick, with my dad as a baby.
No way.
Every night.
Yeah.
So the earliest memory of my dad was him sleeping with his mom with a metal stick. Crazy. In case of his father coming home and beating both of them.
There's something about alcohol, because they call it spirits in America. There's like a different spirit that takes over you.
Yeah.
And you just become crazy.
I once read
become violent.
Yeah, I once read that this testimony by a former Satanist. Satanist.
Yeah.
This guy who was into the occult. This former Satanist wrote that one of the things that all of the guys who are deep into the occult, they drink a lot.
Really?
Because when they get possessed, they need that to like keep the demons not at bay, but the only way they can really function is by like drinking a lot. Like when they're possessed,
they're possessed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I read. I haven't been able.
And why is that?
I read this book like 10 years ago,
yeah.
but it has to do with the concept of when you get possessed by a spirit, by an evil spirit, when you're into the occult and all of that, you need to feed them. You need to feed that spirit somehow to keep them at bay. That's why they can when you're possessed, you can be really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's something supernatural happening in their bodies.
Yeah.
And they can like function like normal human beings if they drink a lot when they're in a certain level. Because this guy who wrote the book, I think his name was.
We're gonna tell me after. I want more details on this.
Yeah, William.
That's
William
insane.
Something. William something. Lucifer Dethroned. That was the name of the book.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up after.
And then,
we were talking about alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol.
How it makes you violent.
Yeah.
And your grandfather
used to be violent with alcohol.
Yes.
But then eventually my dad grew up. He got his life together. He married my mom. He was building his own thing. But here's the thing, that one of the stories that my dad told me when I was a kid was how he got saved, because he grew up as a Catholic. Everyone was a Catholic back then.
Yeah.
And he was walking to his house from his job, and they were doing this outreach, this evangelism on the streets, on a public space, like a
square,
or a park, something like that.
Yeah.
And look at this: the preacher is teaching the gospel, reading Bible verses, explaining the gospel, explaining the whole deal, and he's there, and something happened to him. Like he didn't believe in the evangelical churches. He grew up Catholic, but he wasn't very interested. But something happened to him.
Yeah.
So he walked front when they made an altar call, but he got a bit late for some reason. So the people in the altar call were already in a line.
Yeah, in the front.
In the front, and they were all like on their knees, like praying. And he didn't know exactly what to do, so he just scooted over like next to the last guy, went on his knees and started praying and following the leader praying. Yeah, right. Somebody, he was with his eyes closed, and somebody got next to him, put his hand on his back and on his shoulder, and just stayed there. Didn't say anything, just put his hands on him. My dad prayed, got saved, and then they get up, and he's like joyful, he got saved. And he starts telling people, hey, thank you for being here, thank you for this, thank you for that. Hey, I want to thank the man who came right next to me.
No way.
And the guys were like, nobody was next to you. Nobody was next to you.
Wow.
No. Something was next to me. Somebody came to me, got on their knees, and put their hands on me. Dude, I'm not joking. We're here in the front. We saw the whole thing. Nobody was there. That's how my dad got saved.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Years later, the Calvary Chapel movement got to Arica, and my dad got involved in there. And my dad was a musician, a music teacher, and he got involved with the Calvary Chapel then. I think it was 1993. I was like 3 years old, so I don't remember, but I do remember going to places and looking like the dove symbol from a very early age, seeing books and hearing about these names, Chuck Smith and all the big names, Yeah. And by 1999, the divorce happened. We were separated with my family, and because of the divorce, you get a lot of things changing. Like they sell cars, they sell homes, they sell a lot of stuff. A lot of money moves when people get divorced, right?
Yes.
So somebody in the whole process said, okay, this kid is, we're going to get him a video game console so he can, like...
How old are you at this time?
I was 10 already.
Okay, before we jump into the video game stuff, for a 9-year-old, what was going on at this time? Did you realize the magnitude? Did you understand, like, what was really going on? Like, you were separated from your family. Did it affect you? Were you like... How were you emotionally feeling during this whole separation? Because that's very interesting, the fact that half your family went with your mom and half your family went with your dad. That must have been hard being separated from your brothers and sisters or your siblings.
Yeah, I know. It was like there was a sense of brokenness, but I didn't fully
understand it.
Understand it.
You're too young, yeah.
Because, but it was crazy because this pastor, to me, was another adult friend. Right. So he was like, when you grow up in a church, like most of the adults are like older friends. Right. And you don't see the difference between the 50-year-olds, the 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Everyone is
just like the church family.
Yeah. I remember playing with their kids. We were friends. We were all friends. And suddenly, boom, like my mom's not at home. Why is my dad acting weird? Why my older brother and sister, like, they're hiding something from me? Mm-hmm. I could tell something was going on. I remember like hearing phone calls. Like my dad would be on the what do you call it, in the living room, talking with somebody from the leadership in the church, and I will just hide somewhere and listen to get. Oh, this is happening. Yeah. So I figured it out like days before, like weeks before it went public. I kind of figured it out on my own. But then eventually my dad sat with me and said, hey, this is happening. Your mom's leaving for this and that, and whatever. He explained to me the whole thing very, very, very explicitly. He trusted that I could get it.
Understand it, yeah.
But it did shatter the image I had of a lot of people, especially this pastor, because then I realized that he had a history of sleeping around with women and cheating on his wife.
Wow.
With women from the church or not the church.
Right.
This church actually had I almost forgot about this, but they had like another location outside of the city, like a ranch.
Yeah.
Where this pastor used to live, and it was a big land, a lot of room, and they had like small houses for people who got homes, who were broken families because of the addiction, the drug addiction, the alcoholism. So a lot of these broken families lived there. And most of these people, I remember them. I remember going to that place and having fun as a kid, but that all like disappeared completely. And I didn't see a lot of them ever again after the divorce.
Yeah.
Some of them, I once saw one of them who was like a drug addict. I saw him back on the streets like back next year.
Right.
I saw him like
because it always affects when the leader
gets
they all taken
scatter.
Out, everyone scatters and everyone gets affected.
Yeah, so like half of them went to different churches because they wanted to keep
following God.
Yeah, but okay, this happened, and we and my family were still following God. Some people just got back to the world. Mm-hmm. I remember like being with my dad one Saturday because I got to see my dad on weekends, right? Yeah. We parked the car somewhere, and I saw one of the guys like back in the streets, like doing street stuff, like to survive. So yeah, it was very.
Were you going back? So did you guys? Because your dad, was he still at the church doing?
He kept He kept being the worship leader, but eventually he had to take the church as a pastor.
He became the pastor of the church.
Yeah.
Wow.
For many months. He was in charge of the Sunday studies, and like he became the pastor for a while.
Wow.
Like imagine that.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing in the church. You're the worship leader. Your wife cheats on you with the pastor. They leave.
Then you become the pastor.
You become the pastor. They all scatter, and just a small bunch of people stay there.
Yeah.
And you have to lead them now.
Wow.
Like my dad struggled a lot on those times, and I remember.
Yeah.
Like. I remember him even like thinking all the violent stuff that comes to your head as a man when somebody cheats on you.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you can understand like the rage.
And then you're still trying to walk with God with all that crazy stuff in your head.
Yeah, like
it's gnarly. It's very tough. Very tough.
It's tough. Eventually, a man from Viña or Valparaíso, Carlos Tello, came as a pastor to that church, and he's the pastor of that church to this day. And then most of the people just scatter and were like like a renewal of the people.
Yeah. So the church rebuilt,
except for one family that stayed there for
the whole time.
Yeah. So that happened there. My dad became the pastor, then he stepped down, and he kept following Jesus. He never denied the faith, and that did leave an impact on me, because. Reflecting on it, I wasn't a Christian when I was like teenager in my early 20s, but I was never angry at God for all that happened. Other people, I think I could have been.
Yeah.
Because how could God let this happen? What? But in my head, I was like, no, I know that those people make choices.
Wow.
I understood that.
Yeah.
My mom was complicated. My dad was complicated. Every adult was complicated. And when you're a kid, you think adults have all figured it out.
Yeah.
And now that I'm an adult,
you realize we don't.
No, we really don't. Adulthood is about having not figured out things and doing dishes all the time. That's adulthood in a nutshell. Yeah. And then
put your mic, on the mic. Yeah.
And then I got like eventually, I got hold of a video game console, a PlayStation. I used to like video games, so they gave me that because they had a bunch of money that came out of selling stuff and like houses and stuff. And that's how I got to learn English from a very young age.
From video games.
Yeah, that's because I knew the basic grammar from school. I knew a couple of words, and then by playing stuff, I will like internalize phrases and rules and words that I didn't know.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's how I started learning English. And also movies and TV shows and all the culture that the States will bring to the world, right?
Yeah.
To the West, at least. And during that time, this is already the 2000s. I didn't get to see half of my family for a long time. Like I would see my dad on the weekends, my sister and my brother on Saturdays, maybe Sundays, and Christmas parties, maybe New Year's. When you're in a divorced family, you get everything twice. You get twice the birthday party.
That's what I've heard.
Twice the dinner. Yeah, it's
twice to Christmas, twice to
everything's
twice.
Everything's twice, but the family's half. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's the problem. And a very important detail about this whole thing is that when I was like 5, I think, 4 or 5 years old, my older sister, because she was always like a believer, she, like in the church, I saw her. She's 8 years older than me, and she was very faithful from a very early age. And she gave my dad a keychain, a little keychain, with a drawing she made on a computer back then in the 90s. Was very basic.
Yeah.
But the drawing was a picture of a man, a stick drawing,
right.
of a man looking at the sky with stars, blue skies with white stars and a light shining upon him. And she put a Bible verse, John 3:16. For God so loved the world.
Yep.
I know it in Spanish,
Yeah, we know it.
And I remember that as one of my earliest memories from like 5 years old, 4 years old was that keychain.
Yeah.
And during that time, after the divorce, playing video games and like living my life as a kid, eventually I got a computer too, and with the pastor, with my former pastor, if you can call that a pastor anyways, we moved to another city. So we moved to another city in Coquimbo, which is halfway between Iquique and Santiago, like halfway there. Mm. And I was, for a year, I didn't get to see my dad on weekends, my siblings, my friends, anything.
Right. So there's a whole, everything's changed.
Everything changes and you feel lonely, right?
Yeah,
because you don't have new city, you don't have friends, you don't have anything. So one time I was on the computer playing around and I used this software that we had in the late 90s and 2000s, the Paint, Microsoft Paint.
Yep. So
I remade that drawing.
What your sister drew.
Yeah. But I didn't put the Bible verse. I don't know why. I just didn't. I felt awkward.
Yeah.
I was 13 at the time.
Yep.
I was already a teenager. I already had my own ideas going. And
totally.
But I couldn't do it. That's crazy. I just couldn't. I wanted, but I couldn't. And then I kept living my life. Eventually, by next year, my stepfather now and my mom split.
Okay, so now they break up. So it's from 9 to 13 years old, right?
Yeah,
13?
From 9 to 13. Like they stayed together for like 4 years.
Yeah.
They had a daughter, which lives with my mom now. Is my little sister.
Yeah.
We grew up together. She's a very lovely girl. Yeah. She's probably 20 something now. Yeah. I often forget her age. My oldest brother is 12 years older than me, and my younger sister is 12 years older than me, or 13, something around that. I'm right in the middle. I'm the middle kid, I guess. Like my older sister is 8 years older, and my other brother is 8 years younger, and so on until me. I don't have like an equivalent of that.
Yeah.
When I was 14, we moved back to Arica, to my hometown. So I got to see my dad more and my family more. I got into high school and all the things that happen in high school. You make friends, you get like girls, you have to study for stuff, and you have to do a lot of things. And that's when things started to turn for the worse personally.
Okay, I want to stop you right there because we're gonna come back in 2 minutes after the break. I have R, which stands for R, Rodrigo Ramirez, here in we're in Viña right now, but you guys are up in Iquique now. And the story is intense. And there's so many people that relate to the story of broken homes. But now you're about to enter a very dark time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see how God's going to pull you back out and get you on your feet. But you're going to go through a lot of crazy stuff from this point.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to get all the past podcasts and shows, go to ryan-ries.com. I'm also on YouTube. You could get them. You can like them and send them to your friends and subscribe. Amazing stories. Check out the whosoevers.com too. We got products and we got tours going global right now, bringing the gospel to the public schools all around the world and the revival night to the churches. So we're hitting the streets in the public schools and the churches by night. It's the Jesus ministry. So we love you guys. Keep us in prayer, and we'll be back in 2 minutes with Ere. Peace.
More of The Ryan Ries Show coming up. Post your questions at Ryan Ries on his Instagram, Twitter, and or Facebook. Now, back to The Ryan Ries Show.
All right. We are back with Eder down here in Viña del Mar in Chile. And man, the testimony from the first half is intense. You know, these are old statistics, but I know 5 years ago I heard the statistic about California that 50% of people come from broken homes.
Like half of them.
And half. And you know it's more now. You know, so
probably
so this your story is very relatable.
Yeah.
And now here you are going to high school, and this is when things start getting dark. Take us through that journey to how you found God.
Okay, so things got dark in a way that I didn't realize at first.
Yeah,
because I was a high schooler, and you gotta understand that I never processed the divorce. I never grieved over it.
Right.
I never cried about it. I never did anything like related to that. An aunt of mine, my mom's sister, one time like sat down with me when I was like 10 or 9, and she told me, "Hey, how are you? How are you dealing with it?" Nobody asked me that.
Yeah.
And I got to hug her and cry a little bit. But by this time, 14, 15, I didn't grieve about it.
Yep.
And there's a lot of issues also personally, like regards to my family. There's a lot of, how do you call it? I never felt like I could fit in even in my own family, especially after the divorce, because like my siblings were a bit older than me.
You had the older, and then you had the way younger. You were just kind of
I was right in the middle.
Yeah.
So the only thing I had was video games.
Right.
So I kind of sheltered myself in that.
Yep.
Of course, I got addicted because they're very addictive, and that's how. Like my main addiction there was like the dopamine you get from it, like the sense of reward. And all addictions are a way of hiding or dealing with emotional pain. Mm-hmm. There's always a scar underneath every addiction. There's always an issue that needs to be fixed or solved or healed from, so you can no longer need that addiction, and you can like move on. But I didn't know that at 14 years old. So at that time, we already had the internet. Everything. The world was changing. The early 2000s, and I got at some point I left my mom. Mm-hmm. Okay, when I was 15, I left my mother because she broke up with my stepfather. She broke up. We moved back to hometown, and she had her own issues that made it very difficult for me to live with her. So at 15, I just moved out. I left my mom's house, and gladly my dad could take me in. Now he had this new family. He remarried, had my stepbrothers. Yeah. And I could live there, but...
And where was this, in the north? Or
in the north.
So you're back at the same city.
Back in my hometown. And I had this, like, suddenly I have this, like, again, a new family.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Where I don't fully fit in. They're still going to a church. They're still going to a Calvary Chapel sometimes, but not so much. My dad is no longer that involved. Yeah. But he's still in the faith.
Totally.
Most of the basic things that I know from the Bible and stuff come from the example he said when I was very young. Right. And at this point, I had like the access to the internet and no adult supervision. And
what year was this?
2004 to 2005.
Okay, so things are already happening on the internet at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. I mean, it was very... the internet back then didn't have algorithms.
No,
it was the Wild West.
Yeah,
anybody could put on anything, and it would just fly by, and nobody cared.
Yeah,
unless Metallica, if you were like sharing their music,
right? Stealing the music. Napster.
But it was very easy to me to get into this. What you call it? Like this programs, software that you could use to download music and video and stuff like that. Yeah. Back in the 2000s. So I did that to listen to music I like, rock music, metal music and stuff. Yeah. And then videos and stuff like that. And eventually I came across some porn. Mm-hmm. And I kind of really, I was 14. I was like hooked on it. That's also very addictive.
Very addictive.
And
very, very addictive.
That kicked a really crippling addiction with porn at that time.
What were some of the side effects that porn had on you? Because I've talked to some guys that got addicted to it recently, young kids. And they said they were like, it was just, it literally was controlling their life to the place where very depressed, very suicidal.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Isn't that interesting?
It desensitizes you to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Depending on what you watch, it could lead to worse issues.
Yep.
But overall, it creates this sense of, it's a modern word that you normally hear in certain circles, but it objectifies people, especially women.
Yeah.
Like you see them as a piece of meat and nothing more than that.
Object, yeah.
So I was at high school and I just didn't relate to anybody.
Yeah.
I couldn't see past sex.
Yeah.
Exactly. Was a teenager, was a hormonal teenager.
That's a bad combination.
Yeah. So I would like try to go out with girls, date girls or whatever, but I never connected really with anybody.
Yeah.
I couldn't, and then I didn't do drugs or alcohol when I was a teenager until I was my late teen years, when I had more friends and I had more I started growing up and I started going out more and socializing because I was a very lonely kid.
Yes.
I was very isolated. I didn't fit in with my family. I had like video games, culture, like TV, movie shows, and all my happy childhood memories are in front of a screen.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I got into porn. I got of course, porn and masturbation and all of that.
And that leads you into more isolation.
Yeah, more isolation because now you don't even have energy to come out. You get depressed. You get suicidal thoughts all the time. And that has been proven that porn consumption creates or eventually creates this suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
Like it's a very high
Yes,
standard.
It's true. Dude, this is what's crazy. It's like, yesterday or, the last couple of events, I was talking about how when you watch, Jesus is the eyes of light to the body, right?
Yeah.
If your eyes are good, your whole body's good. If your eyes are bad, your whole body's full of darkness. When you're watching this stuff and you're agreeing, I mean, it's straight up demonic. Satan is creating this stuff because he's trying to distort what God created for good, for bad. There is literally the demonic doorways are open through pornography. And again, the mainstream statistics are saying that it causes depression, suicide. So there's definitely a lot of demonic stuff happening in this realm.
And there's and you can look even at the world right now, and psychologists will tell you the effects.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not making this up.
Yeah, this isn't Bible stuff. This is straight up
this is scientific. Your brain is wired to get rewards when you do good things, but when you watch porn, it's so stimulating. The dopamine circuits, all of that, it just crashes because you overstimulating. Then you cannot enjoy anything. Mm-hmm. Like I was out on I always hated those people that could just be out in the sun, walking by, having an ice cream, being happy, and I was like, I hate this. I hate my life. I hate everyone. I hate myself. I want to die. I was that. Yeah. And through music, grunge music, rock music, it all kind of created this loophole of depression and dark thoughts. And also I didn't have much happy childhood memories that I could bring into my present because I was always isolated or lonely. But at this point in my late teenage years, I had friends in high school. I could go out and I made connections with friends that were good. Some of them are still my friends to this very day.
Perfect.
They're not Christian. They know I'm a Christian.
But you're all friends still,
Yeah. Some of them are married with kids or whatever. And eventually I got into to get girls, we all do crazy stuff.
Yeah, we did very crazy stuff.
Did you ever hear in the 2000 about the pickup artist stuff? The guys who would just go out to clubs in groups to try to pick up lines and stuff like that. Mm-mm. It was a thing in the U.S. and I guess still is. But the thing is that I got into those forums online and I learned I learned all I could because I knew English at this time.
Oh yeah.
And I started doing that and it worked.
Oh really?
To me it worked. That's how I got girls because I couldn't connect emotionally with anybody.
Right.
I had to present myself in a way that was always fake, always manipulative. Not manipulative, but fake.
Yeah.
It was essentially fake. So that's how I got dates and girlfriends and stuff like that. But it was always like a sense of, I am not connecting really with anybody. Mm-hmm. I got into music, rock music with bands. I would play gigs. We would make music and stuff like that. And eventually that got me into stand-up comedy.
Okay.
I also did stand-up comedy, which I did love a lot. The problem is that all my comedy came from this place of gnarly darkness, hate. I had a lot of hate in my heart. So my stand-up was it was silly stuff, but it came from a place of, I hate everybody. I hate this politician, I hate this other politician, I hate these famous people. I will make fun of things because of that. And eventually at this point, I'm 20-something. After a long streak of failed relationships, disconnection, isolation, suicidal thoughts, depression. I didn't have anxiety because I will always soothe my anxiety with porn consumption, video games, junk food. Even junk food works for that.
Feeding the flesh.
Feeding the flesh, exactly. And I remember I had no relationship with God. I believed there was a God. There has to be a God. That was my mindset. There has to be a God. But who is he anyways? I wasn't resented at God for what happened to my family, but I just wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I met Sebastian actually during my teenage years. Sebastian, the pastor of Iquique. Yeah. He wasn't a pastor back then.
Was he a Christian back then?
Yeah. When I met him, he was already a Christian. Okay. I've stayed at his home. We were friends. I would travel to Iquique every once in a while. I will meet with him, with the guys at Calvary Chapel in Iquique. Yeah. Some of them were still friends. Yeah. But I wasn't a Christian. I wasn't saved.
Yeah.
How could I... And it never come to my head, how could I live like this? To them, I was living a double life.
Right.
But inside, I was through storms. I got to a point back in my hometown where I was thinking about, you know what? I want to die. I really want to die. My whole life is a joke. My whole life feels like a bad movie. Yeah. And I'm in the middle of it. And I just want to put stop and turn off everything and bye. So,
and there's probably people listening to this right now that feel exactly the same way.
Oh, there's a lot of people. You get online and you see them.
Dude, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's a pandemic.
It is.
And I remember going back to my house at the time. I was living with my mom when I was 24. Yeah. We reconnected eventually. Yeah. We were never at a good place, but we reconnected enough. Yeah. So I was living with her. I remember opening the door with the keys and I really, really want my life to end. Eventually I realized, okay, I have to look for some answer. And over the course of those days, after a long period of darkness, suicidal thoughts, depression, porn consumption, and bad relationships, isolation, loneliness, that's my long time struggle. My long life struggle was loneliness, ever since I was a very young kid, dealing with rejection, isolation, not fitting in anywhere. I never get to fit in anywhere. So I decided I'm gonna look this up. I know the Bible. I know the things. I have heard verses, and I know there's some truth to this.
There were the seeds that were planted at a young age.
Yeah.
So now you're
I know how men fall into sin. Right. The Garden of Eden and Jesus, the story of the disciples, everything, all the classic. I knew them, but it didn't connect. It didn't make sense to me. So I got online. I opened YouTube and I put a Mexican preacher that my parents used to listen to. I'm not gonna name it, but it wasn't Calvary Chapel. Yeah. It was a good one. Okay? Yeah. I put his some preaching that he was teaching on something. I don't remember what religions or different religions. And I was listening and I'm zoning out. He says something and I'm in my head.
Your mind's not even there.
Yeah, not even there. The notebook, the computer is open with the video playing, and I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that. I have a hard time concentrating. When I was a kid, I was
ADD.
Kind of. Yeah. But I'm thinking about my past mistakes. And I remember every time, with Sebastian, the people in Iquique, the people from the church in Arica, all the people, Christian people that I have had come across at that point, they always reach out to me to help me out. And I realized that was God trying to connect with me. and I always gave him the middle finger and walked away.
Yep.
Like God was trying to put me in a good place.
God does that. If people that are listening, there's people that come into your life because God's sending these people.
And I just walk away back to the desert.
Yep.
I didn't even want the world. I didn't want to get rich or famous. I just wanted myself.
Yeah.
And I realized that while listening to that preacher in the computer, and I was like, okay, now I was trying to think about what my whole life, and then I kept going back in my memories, and I remember when I was a kid, before all the porn, before all the things, all this stuff, I remember like the keychain that my sister made, and how I remade it, and I left out the verse. That's the moment when I realized, even in my youngest self, in my most innocent self, I walked away from God.
That was it. Wow.
It wasn't the porn. It wasn't the sin. It wasn't. It was
before all that.
It was me.
It was you.
Wow. I didn't want God. Mm-hmm. Despite everything he had done, I had no desire to be with him. And I realized that. And I felt like this conviction of sin, like this Bible verse, this beautiful Bible verse, John 3:16, felt like it's condemning me. Because that Bible verse exists, I'm going to hell.
Wow.
I hated that verse for a minute. I hated that. And I was like, and in my head, I was like, okay, I get it. I'm a sinner. I've done wrong. It is not the consequences. It's me. I'm the enemy here.
Yeah.
And if God is fair and it's just, I have to die and go to hell.
Dang. Deception.
And I was okay with it. I realized that I was going to die someday. I was going to kill myself eventually.
That's the deception.
I was going to go to hell.
You were okay.
I was okay because it was fair. How could it not be fair? I sinned ever since I was born.
Yeah, but being okay with going to hell, that's...
my pride.
Yeah, it's insane.
And in my head, I was thinking about that. And I remember this. I will always remember this. In my head, I was speaking in my head, and I didn't finish a sentence. I couldn't finish a sentence. Yeah. My sentence was going to be, okay, I'm going to die and go to hell. How could I expect God to save me now? That's the phrase I wanted to make in my head.
Yeah.
But in the moment I said, how could I expect God to? The
John 3:16.
The video was playing. The pastor was talking about this subject at this other subject. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son,
that whosoever believe in him will not perish but have everlasting life.
As I was speaking in my head, I just listened to that.
Boom. The verse came through.
And the blindfold in my soul, in my spiritual life, just... And I was born again that night.
That was it.
Like just that verse that a minute ago was my condemnation became my salvation. Because that Bible verse is true, I can tell you now that I was born again.
Wow.
That night. And have you ever misplaced your keys from your door and nobody's home and you don't find your keys and you're like in a pickle, right? Uh-huh. And then you realize that your keys were in the other pocket? Yeah, that sense of, yeah, I had that.
Wow.
On an eternal level, okay?
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
I'm saved. I'm saved because Jesus died for me. And God is all my life, God has been trying to reach out to me. And all my life, I've been walking away from him. Mm-hmm. But he's always going to keep trying to reach out for me because of how he loved me. Because for God so loved the world, Yeah. For months, every time I would remember that verse, the first couple of words, for God so loved, I would weep, man.
Amazing.
And I was born again that night, and after that I realized that I'm saved. Like I was joyful. I shared that with everybody, with my friends. And my friends from the music industry, from the music scene, we're at a barbecue, they're drinking, and I'm not drinking. And one of them like mocking me, but recognizing that I was changed, said like, you know what? You're the actual proof that God exists, man.
Yeah,
the man upstairs exists because you're not drinking now.
Yeah,
that was joyful to me. And I started sharing this with friends, and eventually, like a year later, I got into studying translation. I didn't finish that, but I learned a bit. Mm. And then I moved to Iquique, God called me to be in Iquique.
Oh yeah, because that's right. You came back down.
Yeah, I already knew Sebastian. I already knew the pastor here. And
what year was that?
2014, and I moved in 2015.
Got it.
So I got saved on May 2014.
Perfect.
At 24 years old, and it's like my whole life I was living this dark bubble of crap, you know.
Yep.
Fighting against God, and then it was like the bubble popped, and I could see God trying to connect with me, and me holding all the weapons against Him, and I was like, I cannot fight this anymore. God loves win. I drop everything. I surrender.
You know, a lot of people go through life fighting.
Yeah.
I know that. I was fighting too.
Yeah.
And God's always there. You know what I love about John 3:16 and 17? God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him will not perish but have everlasting life. And then it continues in verse 17. God didn't send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world. So He's not here to condemn you. Yeah. He's here to save you. And that's exactly what He did when you believed.
Yeah.
Instantaneously. Boom. Everything changed. That's what people need to understand that are listening right now.
Yeah.
It happens. Believe that He died on the cross and raised from the dead, and that He has a plan for it, and He loves you.
Yeah.
And He will. So here's the question though. You said that all this darkness, it popped.
Yeah.
What, I know we're running out of time here, but how did the transformation happen? Because you had porn, you had alcohol. You said the alcohol just stopped.
Yeah, the alcohol, the cigarettes, the drugs. I used to do cocaine at the time.
Yeah, all that just stopped.
It stopped. The only struggle I had was with lustful thoughts. So porn was like every once in a while. Well, yeah, it was a journey. I saw the I Am Second video.
I went through the same thing.
Yeah,
it was a journey.
Yeah, and I to this day I even have like strategies to come out of it, because it's a whole thing to get out of that.
Okay, look, when you go out and drink, you get drunk, you throw up, you feel good. You do cocaine, you go high, you come down.
Nicotine with cigarettes.
Sex, you know, it's different. It's God different. Made it, so it's a harder one. The lust is a harder one because you're a human, you're a man. You like, you know.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more. It's more.
It
difficult.
took a long time to like get that. It was like I repressed it. Yeah. So I only came more.
So the point is, people that are listening, listen. It's a journey to overcome. It's a process, but you can do it.
Yeah, it's something that usually comes from a place of brokenness. So, long story short, you have to ask God to heal you from those things that make that worse. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like all addictions come from a place of brokenness, of emotional wounds. It's a soothing mechanism we do because we love to feel good. Yeah. We love to feel good, but God will make you go through difficult times, and you have to be able to endure the pain. Yeah. So if you're dealing with what you call porn, masturbation, if you're watching this, you're online, you're on your cell phone, you know what you're doing, be willing to deal with the pain of just sitting down with your pain and not using porn as an escape mechanism.
Yep.
That's the key issue. If you manage to do that, you'll feel so much pain inside of you that you'll have to come to Christ. Yeah, you have to ask God to help you.
Yep. That's the question. A lot of people go, how can I quit? And I said, it has to be with you and God. You have to ask. That's why I did my testimony. I said, God, I need you to help.
You have to trust Him. Yeah. You have to trust Him.
Well, we are wrapping this thing up. Yeah. And obviously now you're involved with the church. You're a tent maker, so you work by day in a job. Yeah. And then you serve at the church.
I do a lot of things. I 1 year I did all the cleaning and I help with the worship service. Sometimes I teach. Sometimes I will have to travel. Whenever you come here, I translate for you, and I want to translate for you every time you come to South America.
Thank you, my brother.
Hector has to retire someday.
He's retired. That's it. We're bringing the new young guns in.
Yeah, because I'm the best.
Yeah. You are, yes. And you do have a Donald Trump impression. What is that?
Okay, this is Donald Trump sharing the gospel. We have the gospel, the best gospel, big news, enormous news, big salvation. We're talking about sinners getting saved. And we're going to bring this news, the best news of Jesus Christ, to all of Judea, Samaria, Jerusalem, and to the ends of the earth, even into China. We managed to do that. I didn't think we could do it. Do you think? Do you think they're gonna get mad?
I think it can be done.
They say we couldn't do it. Biden didn't do it, but we brought Calvary Chapel to South America. We brought the revival nights. I cannot keep doing
Dude,
it. I'm going to get into trouble, man. One day I'm going to visit the States, and an officer will be waiting for me with the clip.
It's amazing to see like all the impersonations of him like globally. It's great. It's hilarious, man. That guy's a character, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you, man.
Love you
and
too.
Thank you, dude, for being on the show, and thank you for always serving with us. And we've seen a lot of people encounter the Holy Spirit on this trip and give their life to Jesus, and just cool stuff, encouraging people. So, and then when we do the schools, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole different beast.
Thing. All right, you guys, go to Ryan Ries Official on YouTube. Subscribe, share the videos. You know this show was amazing, and you know how relatable it is to so many. So get it and send it to as many people possible. People need to hear this, that they can be set free, whether they grew up in the church, out of the church, their life has been destroyed. God is greater than all that, and he can do the work in and through you. Give your life to Christ today. Whosoever believeth in him will be saved. Peace.
Bye.
This has been The Ryan Ries Show. To connect and find out more about Ryan, click on ryan-ries.com. Check us out next Saturday at 9 p.m. for The Ryan Ries Show.